Hey guys, this is another episode in the Allan's Answers podcast for August 30th, 2010. And today I got 4 questions lined up for us today, and the first one comes from Lyra Full of Time. And they talk about how, considering all the good things in life, if you could have gotten them without any of the pain or the hurt you may have experienced them to get them, would you have done so, or would you keep the pain? Well, personally, I feel like that all the good things in life don't necessarily always have to come in pain, but if they were, I believe that it depends on the outcome and how life is with the good things in existence after all the pain and sufferings has occurred, because you have to weigh them particularly. Like, it depends how much pain you actually suffered in order to achieve a certain thing, and how much was achieving that certain thing worth to you. Like, would you compromise? Would you have wished things would turn differently? I know we all would have wished that everything we've done in life could happen, and all our dreams could achieve without having to face obstacles, without doing any hard work. It would just happen. Like, that would be amazing if all of our dreams could happen like that. But I feel like that that's not necessarily a good thing too, because all that hard work also builds us as a person, as our collective being, and improves our lives in general because we learn through experience. But that's another topic. For this question, though, I feel like the pain and hurt that is involved in it kind of adds an extra meaning to it, because through human emotions, they provide the excitement and the actual meaning in life, So I guess knowing that you actually had to work really hard and you might have experienced things that were completely negative to your life in order to achieve something good, then I feel like that just makes that good thing 20 times better, more personal and more worth it, But that's just my opinion on it, and hopefully that answered your question. And then Vanilla Face asks, why is patriotism a good quality? And they go on to talk about basically what is it that makes you like your country. And I feel like that essentially it's not necessarily the United States, because I feel like if we were born in any other country, we would want to show some kind of relation to it, unless it's terrible, But even then, I feel like every person tries to make the most of it, It's just like going to a high school with a bad reputation. You might not necessarily like being associated with that reputation, but you still want to enjoy your time there as much as possible, so you're gonna want to be associated with it as much as possible in order to feel closer as a family, and through that family feelings, it's an emotion that kind of makes life more meaningful, And I personally love the United States because I think it's the greatest place on the earth, There's so many opportunities that are available to us, and I feel like that, like he said, Vanilla's Face said, I feel like that we have to remember all the people that have worked in the past in order to make the country how great it is today. And I feel like why some people enlist in the military is to kind of continue that generation and that legacy, They want to continue to fight for what they believe in. They continue to try and make the future generations better, so they're going to sacrifice now what they have in order to preserve what a great country it is and make it better in the process. And I feel like that dedication is kind of a case-by-case basis, because not everybody feels that strong bond and association with the country that they were born into. So I kind of feel like it's a personality/genetics kind of thing, but that's on another topic. I just feel like that, in a sense, I don't know if I'd necessarily say I would die for my country, but I would do almost anything below that in order to preserve its integrity and preserve everything that makes it great, because I couldn't see myself living anywhere else. I want to visit the rest of the world, but I want to stay here for as long as I can. So I just feel like that's kind of just the patriotism. You don't necessarily have to be aggressive and say USA, USA, USA all the time, but you still can honor what makes your country great. So I think it's a good quality. And then A-Man asks, what inspires you in life? What do you want? Is it wrong that I seek money and power, or would it be naive to? And they go on to talk about how happiness is an emotion of the moment. The moment naturally changes too often for happiness to be constant, so would chasing happiness would be naive. And acceptance of certain things in life is very important, or you'll be chasing around the same problems and making the same mistakes. This isn't a movie. And I feel like that, essentially what I want is happiness and positive human emotions that can or that some can be bought by momentarily by monetary gains, like I wrote about how can money bring happiness, and I feel like that is possible some of the times, like if you buy something great, that'd be amazing. And some people, it's all based on a case-by-case basis again, because money and power are some of the things that just make people enjoy and create meaning in people's lives. And I feel like that it's universal to an extent, but the variations in the intensity that one may have can be completely different than another, Some dictators enjoy power, and once they get a taste of it, they'll never stop, But I do not think that chasing happiness is naive, because I don't think that it's necessarily an emotion of the moment, because you can have happiness by remembering a certain memory, and that moment did create the happiness, but that doesn't mean you can't keep reliving the moment over and over again. And while you can't completely recreate a moment again in the future, you can definitely put in place similarities that'll also make you feel happy in the future. Like, if you love playing video games and that makes you happy, you can definitely play video games in the future. Nothing's stopping you. You might not be able to score that amazing goal in FIFA again, but you can always come close, and all the other goals will probably bring you almost the same amount of happiness. And I think that acceptance is very important, but on different levels, because I don't think just accepting things necessarily means that you'll be chasing around the same problems, because you don't have to keep facing the same problems in the same approach. You can always gain new perspectives in life. You can come back to something. You can always just go and kind of just face a problem in a new direction that'll allow you to overcome it, And necessarily you don't even have to face that problem. You can go in a completely new direction and just completely avoid it, And you don't necessarily have to make the same mistakes without accepting things either, because you can always persevere and improve your situation now and overcome that obstacle through sheer just determination. Of course you have to look back on the past and remember what went wrong, but that doesn't mean you have to accept the just negative situation that occurred. You can always try and make things better, and I feel like you always should make things better. You shouldn't accept for the way reality is now. You should always strive for better. And then Leo asks, do all of our motives derive from happiness? I feel like happiness is generally a universal want. I don't think anybody wants to feel sad. People have different impressions on what is happiness, and of course there are obviously different ways for different people to feel happiness, but I feel like that's not necessarily just personal based either. It can come from other sources, like I guess this reminds me of the Cynic post that I wrote about how all social interaction is motivated by some want, like not necessarily directly related to you. Like, you don't just interact with everybody just because it makes you happy, but it can make others happy, which in return indirectly makes you happy as well, I feel like you can definitely make situations a win-win when other people experience happiness, and if you're motivated to make other people happy, I feel like that in return makes you happy as well, And so that's definitely, I feel like this could be true, I don't really... Sacrifices are normally done not because they personally make you happy, but because Leo said they do make other people feel happy as well. So I definitely feel like, yeah, this could be true. I haven't really found a case where motivation isn't derived from happiness, because people, like I said before, for patriotism, people sacrifice their lives in order to make future generations better, They want to make the world better in the future so other people can experience happiness and set up the perfect foundation for others to experience happiness, And so I guess that's true. And hopefully that answered your question, Leo, and hopefully I answered everybody else's questions as well, and I hope you liked it, and I hope you'll come back for the next episode tomorrow. So I'll see you then. Bye.